Happy Monday, everyone. Carmen Braaksma here with Choose Joy with Carmen. And today is Monday, December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. And so I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. And we are back today for another episode of my MoJOY Monday. So let me go ahead and switch the camera so we can get started and I can show you what today's card's all about. Okay, so today we're going to be using a designer paper that can only be earned when celebration starts up here next week on January 4th. And this paper, I think you have to place, this one is a $50 order and you can earn this paper for free. And then some of the other products that I'm going to be using is from the new upcoming Mini Catalog that's also going live on January 4th. So I can't show you the products inside the catalogs yet, but I can show you the products. So let's go ahead and get started. And let me show you the paper that we're going to be using. Well, I'm going to show you the whole pack, and then I will show you the one I'm going to be using on today's card. So there's this design right here. And this is the back side. Then we have this design. And I love it when Stampin' Up! Does this because when you cut it down, you know, halfway down the middle and then you cut it into sections. This makes the card all by itself. All you have to do is add a sentiment and you have it. Because the designer paper does it all for you. And this is the back side. And then there's this design right here. And the back side of that, let me turn that around. These are little green hearts. And then this is the design we're using today. It's these daffodils. And then the back side we're also using. And there's that. And then there's this design, which I guess it would go like this because the daffodils look more upright this way. And here's the back side of that design. And I think this is my favorite one because of the fact that it has the daffodils as well as the daisies. And I think the daisies are so pretty. So there's that design and there's the back of that. And so that designer paper is called the Daffodil Afternoon. So again, that can only be earned with a qualifying order when it all goes live here in January, which is just next week. So today's card, I'm going to be starting off with a card base of the Pale Papaya. And I'm going to go ahead and I will put all the dimensions in the description. But we're going to use a piece of this designer paper here that's 2 inches wide. And we're going to go ahead and adhere that to the card front. So let's do that real quick here. And then we'll see what we can do from there. So I'm going to put this, since it's the full size of the card in length in the front, I'm going to put it up right against that folded part. Then the next part was the challenging part. I saw this card, I think her name was Chris Smith, and I was trying to figure out how she did this part, and I was having a little bit of problem with that. So I kind of just came up with my own idea. So what I did was I laid, this is like a 3-inch wide piece of Very Vanilla, and I went ahead and put it right up against the edge. And then I took my die cut triangle, and I will show you, I just got these. So this die cut is part of the stitched triangle dies. and this is what comes in them, and I wanted to use them. I've seen so many cute cards with these triangles, so I decided to use that today. So I've already die cut this out, and I don't remember, let's see, is it probably, it was probably the largest of the skinnier ones, because there's different kind of widths on the triangles. So I went ahead and die cut that out, and then I decided kind of where I'm going to put this. And so I decided I wanted it to be maybe about there. So what I did then is I took a ruler, and I'm going to lay it, trying to keep it steady there. I'm going to lay it right up against the edge of that triangle, and then I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm going to, you know, what I'm trying to do is trying to get the angle of that triangle. That's why I needed the pencil and the ruler. So there, and then what I did was I brought in my trimmer, and let me show you what I did there. Is then I lined up that line. So here, there's a little crevice here, and this is where the cutting blade will go. But I'm going to take that line on both the top and the bottom, and I'm going to line it up just on the left side of that cutting groove area, because I want to cut off the pencil. Now, if you don't get it cut off, you can just erase it, but I was trying to avoid that step, so I went ahead and just tried to do it that way. So, went ahead and cut that, and then that'll give us the piece that we need for this side. So let's go ahead. Now, before I adhere that down, though, I want to stamp in case I make a mistake and I have to cut another piece. I don't want to stamp when it's already on the card. So I'm going to take this sentiment, and this sentiment, it comes from this special moment set that you can also only earn in the upcoming celebration catalog. But I love it because there's so many great sentiments in here. I've been using this set a lot. And I think because it's such a big set, has a lot of words, you need to place a $100 order in order to earn this set for free. So I'm using the With Sympathy out of that, and I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. And I'm inking that up in the tuxedo, the Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that toward the bottom of this piece right here. So let's get that stamped. There we go. Close this up so I don't stick my hand in there. Now let's go ahead and take our Stampin' Seal and put it on the back so that we can adhere this to the front of the card. And I'm going to line it up with the edge and the top and bottom and place that down like that. Now we're going to take our die cut triangle and see. So if I was to place it right up against that vanilla, see, because I was able to use this as a guide for the angle, when I put this down, see, it butts right up against that and flush against the top. So that's why I did it that way, so that I wouldn't have any crookedness. And I didn't know what the angle was, so that's why I had to use the triangle as my template for my guide. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this, and I probably should have used the liquid glue so I could get right into that corner, but we'll go ahead and try it this way. So now we're going to line it up with the side and of that very vanilla piece. But we're also going to make sure that it's flush. I think I'm going to do it this way. Make sure it's flush with the top of the card. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and work on the next piece. So what I did, and I'm not going to do all the coloring, I took a piece of scrap very vanilla, and let me show you the stamp set that I'm using. This is going to be in the Mini Catalog, and it's the Daffodil Daydream, and it's bundled with the Daffodil dies. We're not going to be using the dies today, we're just going to be using this stamp right here. So I went ahead and stamped it in the Memento Tuxedo Black on a piece of scrap very vanilla, and then I brought in my Stampin' Blend markers, and I'm using the dark and light of the Pale Papaya because I'm trying to color it the same way as the flower and the paper. And then I'm using the light Mossy Meadow and the light Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to go ahead and color that, but I'm not going to do that on camera here. I'm just going to show you what it turned out like. So I went ahead and colored that in, and I always use the dark when I'm using both the light and dark. I use the dark to kind of highlight the darker, like where the edges are with the stamp. So then I took that with this die right here, which is part of, let me show you, that comes part of the Tasteful Labels die that's in the current catalog now. And I went ahead and took it over to my die cut machine, and I lined it up where I wanted it centered with my flower and die cut that out. And the result was this right here. Then I took from this is the layering circles, and I took one of the, well, it's not the smallest circle, but the next to the largest, well, no, the third to the largest, because here's the small one, then the next one, and then the next one after that. And I went ahead and die cut that out with basic black so that I could use that to mount my flower on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And again, I should be using the liquid glue because then I can move it around, but we're just going to hope that I can center it nicely. And there we go. So I've adhered it there. Now I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're going to go ahead and pop that up on the card. So I'm going to put 4 on the back, and then I'm going to remove the backings, and then we're going to place that right, you know, I don't want it up here because I want to cover that point. So kind of figure out how you want your flower to be, and then put that down. Then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to color where I didn't color with the Stampin' Blends, just to give it that, you know, that glittery look, because I think that'll just add a lot to this card. So, and don't do what I did when I was making my first one. I will show you that here in a minute. I guess I squeezed when I shouldn't have, and a glob of this came out and kind of ruined my card. But I'm just taking what's left in the brush, and I'm just adding a little bit of glisten to the rest of that. flower there. So let me show you what happened earlier when the Wink Stella got crazy on me. See, a big old glob came out right there. I don't know if you can see it. And kind of made a mess there. So I tried to clean it up. Hopefully nobody will notice. Okay, so now in the mini catalog coming up, we have these gems. Let me find them. What did I do with them? I just had them here. Okay. Well, while I'm looking for them, I'm going to go ahead and work on the inside. So I just took a piece of your very vanilla, and I took a piece of that same designer paper, and I'm going to go ahead and put that at the bottom of the inside of my card. I just like to add a little something to the inside to dress it up as well. And you could definitely stamp a sentiment there or leave it blank if you have room to write your condolences to the person you're sending it to. So now let's go ahead and adhere this to the inside. And then we'll finish it off with our embellishments. Okay, line that up the best we can. Okay, now we're going to take our iridescent rhinestones that are going to be available here next week to purchase. And I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm just going to work with the small ones. And I'm going to put 3 on the front of this card. I'm going to put 2 on the triangle and 1 off to the side here. And there you have it. There is today's card, and I just love it. I think it's a nice, simple yet elegant because of the angles. I think that just adds a lot of interest to the card. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, if you could give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, that would be great if you want to subscribe to it, and then that would also help me grow my channel so that more and more people can see these creations as well. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and a happy new year. And we will see you again next Monday for another episode of my MoJOY Monday. And that'll be next year. So I'm going to sign off for now and say Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.